this. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, probably hitting some ads. How am I doing today? I'm doing well. How are you doing? Just got back from, we had a trip to Pennsylvania. I had a book signing on Saturday in Columbia, Pennsylvania. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, my wife had a work conference. And so I was hanging out in a hotel room in Philadelphia and writing and eating and napping. So had a good few days. The bad part was we left at noon yesterday from Philadelphia, and the drive back to Jacksonville, Florida, took us 14 hours. So we got in at like 2 in the morning, which is not good. And my wife had to get up super early at 7 and start her day running around. So, and then therefore I had to get up this morning as well. Hey Chad, what's going on? It's a 12-hour ride on paper if you don't have to stop or anything else. But on the way up it took us an extra 3 hours to get up there, and back it took us an extra 2 hours to get back. And we didn't really make long stops or anything. We only had to fill up the gas once on the way up and once on the way down because we had rented a hybrid pickup truck. How do you book sound? The books are good. It went very well. I actually sold a lot of books. He had ordered a lot of books in, and I sold a lot of them, which is good. And two other authors were there. Damien something, can't remember his name now, and Joe Ottlieb. That was Joe's first signing. He just lives like half an hour walk away. But the other guy had come in from Ohio. Damien Casey. Can't believe I didn't remember his name. So it was the three of us. And we hung out for 2 hours, 3 hours, and sold a lot of books. A lot of other authors came and hung out. A lot of fans, a lot of new fans, which is always good. Locals came and hung out, and he had ordered High on Bigfoot and Abandoned and Chelsea Avenue, Dirty Deeds, and I can't remember what the other one book was. By the way, I sold a lot of the cryptid stuff. Yeah, it was good. It was worth the extra 90-minute drive to there. And then, of course, then we went to Philadelphia, and my wife had her conference for 3 days, and I hung out in the basically hung out in the room because it was 100 when we left yesterday at noon. It was 111 degrees, and I'm like, this is not right. And we're north of where we live, so now we still got to drive all the way. We got home at like 2 in the morning, and it was I think it was like 95 degrees here, so kind of ridiculous. So I missed Friday, and I missed Monday. Twitch. I wasn't going to do it in the. I didn't have my laptop. I had her work laptop, and the work one won't let you put anything on it. And I didn't want to set it up, and it just was like, you know what? I just take the time off, and I'll make it up. So my wife is gone for the next 10 days. She's staying at her mother's because her sister had to go to Texas. So literally, right after we get back, there's Nick Zinn. Right after we get back, now Shelly will be gone for the next week and a half, but I can get some writing in. I can get a lot of writing in. Hopefully, that is the goal. Is this something Pat about his cover and he changed it? Good. What did you say to him? Were you like, nice about it, where you're like, hey, is that AI? Because your cover doesn't look right. I'm glad he did, though, because you don't want him to start getting crapped on for something as stupid as that. You know, the dude's making money, so why blow it? Or did he just change it to another AI cover? Nick, you will be happy to know on our 14-hour drive home from Philadelphia, we talked about, because you have to leave Sunday night, so you're probably not going to stay for dinner, that we moved pasta night, which is traditionally Sundays in our house. We moved that to Saturday so that you can get some garlic bread. So we're going to do the smoked meat on Sunday, at which you don't have to be there. And then she also doesn't have to make anything else but smoked meat for everybody else. So all works out. He did change it to another AI, but not nearly as noticeable. Really? Seriously? I guess that's his, I guess he's like, whatever. What time should you show up with the condiments? I mean, you can show up all you want. You'd be outside under the new awning by yourself. Garlic bread Sunday breakfast? No. Well, thanks Shelly and you. Yeah, mostly Shelly on that. I was like, I can give two shits about Nick. You know what? If Nick's not going to be here, then Nick doesn't get garlic bread. I'll throw the garlic bread in the garbage. She's like, nah, we'll just change it. I was like, all right, whatever. So, she just have to make a lot of garlic bread now for Saturday. We are going to do the Sunday breakfast, though. We are going to do the Sunday breakfast, so we will have that. And then right after we're done with breakfast, then she'll start smoking the meats, the various meats. You'll be lurking, all right. Thank you. Hey, thank you for popping in, and thank you for bringing some people over. Hopefully, some people are sticking around. I'm supposed to be writing, but I'm really probably just going to chit chat for about an hour and talk to people. I'll do a little bit of writing, though. I do want to get my words in for the day. I've been trapped in a hotel room for 3 days, and most of it by myself because my wife is at her conference across the street. So I got a lot of thinking in. I got a lot of trying to figure things out. You know, filled up a pad in the little pad they give you in the hotel room. Actually, it wasn't just. Usually they give you like one page. It was like 10 pages. I filled them all up with ideas and notes and things to long-term and short-term career things to do. And yeah, I'm definitely after these last two Severed Press books. I'm probably I'll write some short stories, some horror short stories for maybe anthologies or stuff if there's a theme that pops up that I like. But otherwise, it's just going to be thriller stuff. I don't think I'm going to ever do nonfiction at this point. Obviously, for the next year and a half, I'm going to be focused on only what's on my board, not adding anything to it. So that'll be interesting. I got a Vortex Books and Comics. I got the Brian King gave me a coffee mug, which I'm using. Lord knows we don't have enough coffee mugs in this house. We actually have so many coffee mugs now they don't all fit in the cabinet. So luckily in a couple weeks everybody will be here from MondoCon, and they can use the coffee mugs. Plus, as you know, every year we buy a coffee mug with the MondoCon logo on it. So even more coffee mugs in the house. Is what it is. I might have at some point. I might have to take a pause because we're supposed to be getting a delivery of bread today. My wife does that. I don't know what it's called. You know, bread of the month club, whatever it is thing, and she had paused it, but now it's supposed to be in today, which is nice. So I don't know what she ordered. Usually 4 or 5 different things. They always give you croissants for free, which is awesome. And we got a bunch of croissants, but I think I'm going to eat some this week while my wife is gone, because I do enjoy a good croissant. We had chocolate stuffed croissants, but my daughter and her boyfriend were here over the weekend. and they made them and ate them. So I've had them before; they're delicious. Some guy just drove by very, very slow, and I thought maybe he was the bread delivery guy. I'm waiting for my lunch break to ask more questions. Excellent, excellent, good. Maybe I'll get a little bit of writing in and see who else pops in. It's weird because I haven't been on since last Wednesday. I'll probably more than likely be on every day this coming up this week, right? Let me look. I got nothing tomorrow. I got therapy tomorrow. I got nothing. Yeah, so we'll be good. Yeah. All right. Again, I just want to get a couple of pages, and I figure if I can do on the stuff that's on my board, if I can get 1,500 to 2,000 words in a day, I will get back ahead. And again, not writing all this extra stuff, I think, will help. Now, I'm going to add some short stories, but I'm going to... The words will count, but it won't count towards my 1,500 a day thing. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Come on, let's get this page in. I might just do some, get it 3-4 lines on this. There's Mr. Frank. Finish this page and then jump onto something else. It might be one of those days where I just write on 2 or 3 things. But again, my wife will be here later for half an hour to pack a suitcase to go back to her mom's, so she didn't have time this morning. Oh, cool, new Twitch streamer. Were you on the other day, Frank? Were you on Twitch on Friday, I think? I got an email that popped up, and by the time I figured out how to get it on my phone, that it actually worked, you were not on. I wonder if you took the leap and you were, you were mistakenly on. Oh, okay. You were taking a poop, and you were like, Why am I filming this? Oh. Actually, my Vortex Books and Comics are the number 2 and the number 3 bestsellers this week for Vortex. For High on Bigfoot was number 2, and number 3 was Abandoned. That's right. Best-selling author. I'm going to start putting that on my banners and stuff. They're like, oh, where was your bestseller? Vortex Books. He didn't say anything about breaking a sales record or anything. I mean, it's not like we had 1,000 copies. I think we had like 10 copies. He ordered like 10 copies of each book. And High on Bigfoot, I think I had like 2 or 3 left. Of course, I flat signed everything. I think maybe there was like 50 books, and I think walked out of there. I think I had like 10 or 11 left. So he had Chelsea Avenue that I sold out of. One copy, and it was actually the copy I gave I'd given Dave Thomas years ago. So he sold that, and then the woman who bought it, and Brian was good. Brian was in the store, and we were in the annex, which is maybe the size of my office, not very big, and so they would buy the book over there. He had them set up on a table right up front, and then they would bring them over and we would sign them. And the lady brought it over, and she's like, it looks like somebody named Dave you had already signed this for. And I was like, yeah, I'll just sign next to it. And I was like, what's your name? And Kayla was her name. And I said, Kayla, you are much better looking than Dave. And then I signed it because I'm flirtatious that way. They come with an authentic from Dave Thomas's personal library certificate. No, and then there was another one. I'm trying to think what the other. I think maybe another book was also signed by. I also sold was Dave had signed it, or I'd signed it to Dave, which is funny. Yeah, maybe Dirty Deeds, because we had those, and I think I did well. So Stephen Kozanowski shows up, and he's wearing a black dress shirt, black pants, black dress shoes, and a skinny white tie. Aaron, yes. And I said, why'd you come here? And it's like 100 degrees out. Why'd you come here like that? He went to a funeral. Then he came right to the book signing, whatever. And I said, you look like a douchebag from an alternative band from the 90s. And then Damien Casey said, you look like you were in a ska band. And I said, yeah, but one of the horn players. Kind of my slap in the face. Matt Wilderson showed up. Wes Southard showed up. John Urbansick showed up. But we got to sit in the annex with Mary. She sat in there with us while Brian tended the store. So I got to talk to Mary without any interruptions. And that was interesting. And Brian said, what do you guys want to drink? I got water, I got beer, I got bourbon. And he looked at me and he said, bourbon? I said, what do you got? He said, I got Woodford Reserve. I said, I'll take it. And he gave me this giant bottle with like this much left in it. And he said, here, this is what Malfi didn't finish. I said, is this a backwash from Malfi? Because why would Malfi not finish a bottle? He's like, this bottle was, he opened this bottle. I was like, that boy drank a lot of this. I had a little bit of bourbon. No, we did not play Magic. But store is nice. Wandered around, looked at some comic books. It was funny. I see the comic book Cerebus in the case, and I said to Brian, hey, what's that going for now? There's Tom Duffy. And he's all excited. He's like, listen, it's $200, but for you I can give it to you for like $150. I said, no, I just want to know what, I have it. I have the complete run. I just want to know how much it is. And I wore my Alpha Flight shirt too. So that was good too. So, but normally he said he takes everybody to lunch, but his car broke down. He needs to buy a new car or get his car fixed. So he's like, instead, I can offer the 3 authors a free Vortex Books and Comics mug, coffee mug. So you know what? Hey, I can always use another coffee mug. I have no room for it in the house. My wife was not happy when he offered a coffee mug of all things. Would it have been tight without the annex? The pictures and videos don't make it look that tiny. So the room that they do it in, so it's like the store is set up in 2 rooms. And the room that they had done it in is much bigger, but you also have all the comic books. It's like the comic book room. So you have all the comic books and everything else. So there's, I think it would be I think it would be all right. But it's going to be tight. The annex is literally you walk in and it's like, I'm going to say 6 feet from wall to wall, and about maybe 15 feet lengthwise, maybe 20. We'll call it 20. So it's 20 by 6. So it's not big at all. And when you put the table, you literally can walk in and like you're walking in the door, and you're at the table. You're at the table with us. It was more of a nook than an annex. Yes. And again, the 3 of us sat behind. We had 2 tables. We sat behind that. They have a glass case there with Dave Thomas stuff and Jesus stuff, and Brian Keane Horror Show T-shirt in there, and a bunch of pictures on the walls of all the famous celebrities that Brian knows. But that was really it. Then they had put 3 or 4 chairs and a fan and a floor fan in there. So it was pleasant. At one point we had maybe 20 people in there, and it was getting a little tight, and I was getting a little I was starting to get a little antsy. I was just like, and Shelly had gone to the car to do some work, and then she also took a nap. And I was just like, there's so many people in there, and it was just noise, and I was just like, okay, this is not good. My anxiety is like through the freaking roof. But it was good. It was good. I got there. We got there a little early. Got to hang out with Brian and Mary. Talked to them for a little bit. And then me and Mary were in a conversation with Matt Wilderson and Wes Southard and Kazanowski about luck. And I basically said, this whole thing is luck. That was my blanket statement. And John Urbansick took offense to that. It's not about luck. You think it would be luck. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, seriously? I was like, a romance author that I know, she literally was not selling any books, and then some TikTok influencer said she liked this book, and then they all picked up on it. And she admits that it's luck. Her career right now, she's got a movie that came out or is coming out. It's all luck. She literally said that to me. No, that's not right. If you met somebody in 1993 in Kansas City, and then blah, 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 and you're going to tell me that Robert Ford, it's like I said, is Robert Ford making millions of dollars? No. Then I was just like, oh my, I'm sick. I'm not going to argue with you anymore, John. Okay, you're right. You know better. You know better. I want to say something mean, but I won't. I want to say, and that's why you're a Walmart greeter now. But I won't say that because this is being taped. Anyway, it was all good. Had a good time. Glad I went. Glad since we were up there anyway. You know what I mean? And then on the trip home yesterday, we got to stop at Roy Rogers. I got me a double R burger and a cheeseburger. Just like being a kid again. Just like being a kid. When you live up there, you don't appreciate. Somebody was like, oh, what are you going there for? You should go to... I'm like, shut up. I'm going here because I live in Florida, and this is literally the closest one. This Roy Rogers is literally the closest one 800 miles away from my house. So shut up, this is where I'm going. Because this is where I ate when I was a kid. Because of the Fixin's Bar. Because this is what my dad... This is a bonding moment for me and my dad when me and my brother were kids. And my dad loved going to Roy Rogers so he could pile up lettuce and tomatoes and onions and peppers and all kinds of stuff on it. So do yourself a favor. You go to wherever you want to eat because you live in Virginia. Shut up. Hard work looks like a lot like, look, here we go. Now Chadletsky's going to be a douchebag about this too. Hard work looks a lot like luck sometimes. Patavon is a good example of that. He schooled himself, followed the rules, and now he bought a new house. But I don't consider him lucky. I didn't say all of us were lucky. I said you get lucky. You will. There are people that have no reason, no idea why they sold what they sold, why they're doing as well as they are. He busted his ass. So I would never say he is lucky, and I would never say Robert Ford is lucky, but Robert Ford's working a job. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, there it is. I'm not arguing with anybody else about this. I'm right. It's my Twitch. I'm drinking my coffee. I agree 100%. That's why I use the word sometimes. Okay, fair enough. I thought you were being the professor again. You were gonna school me on something and make yourself look like an idiot. You did not. I mean, you might look like an idiot. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is, if I'm ever up there again in the area, maybe I'll do another signing there. What they really do, what I said is, what you really need to do is knock this wall down, and you have a much bigger space. Except it's a different landlord. The two buildings are two different landlords. Well, that little trip did nothing to relax your nerves. I'm going to tell you why. Because we left yesterday, Philadelphia. We left at noon. It was 111 degrees in Philadelphia. For 2 days I was there. It was supposed to rain. Big thunderstorms were supposed to go through. There was a ton of lightning, ton of thunder. Not a drop of rain for 2 straight days. 111 degrees when we were driving out. Philadelphia is awful. Too many people. I was not leaving the hotel. The hotel was packed with 2,000 people for this conference. All douchebags. All just total douchebag people. And I went down and I grabbed a couple of slices of pizza. For lunch one day, I grabbed... we went to the little restaurant there and I grabbed an overpriced cheesesteak. But that was it. I was basically in my room, which is nice. I finished reading the Geezer Butler book, which I thought was very good. He thanks his ghostwriter in the credits, which I think is really nice on that one. And I started another couple books on Kindle, but I could not get into either of them. One of them was really, really cheesy, like right from the get-go. I was like, this is stupid. So I stopped that one and started reading something else. And then I stopped that one, and then I started reading... I don't know if it's new. It's an Owl Going Back book. I forget the name of it, but it's one I hadn't read. Even though I don't think Owl likes me for some reason, but I started reading that, and that was pretty good. But just the whole, 14 hours in the car yesterday, except stop at Roy Rogers and to get gas once. It's not fun. But, ooh, what'd I miss here? Plus, only a fool doesn't listen to reason and thinks he's always right. Don't be a fool, my friends. You pray hungry to the choir. Is it you're preaching to the choir, Rosamilia? Thought Armand was always right. Nick, Armand is always right. Don't mind me. By the way, I just tried resubbing and it said that my Prime sub isn't available on July 17th. Not today, July 17th. The other one, probably in it probably means last month you subbed later on in the hour. You did catch them. Yeah, I got a lot of Shark Week. I guess the good part is my wife won't be here for 10 days. So I'm going to catch up. I've taped all of the Shark Week stuff. Every show that was new. And as I went through for the week, I was like, let me see stuff that maybe I haven't seen before. Or stuff that I'm like, I want to see. Like the Ronda Rousey stuff. Like that episode. I'm like, I know they show her little butt in this one. And I don't remember watching this one. I watched Shark vs. Leviathan last night. Yeah, I saw that one. I watched that one. I think I watched that one the night it came out. Most of these are just, it's the same thing over and over. And those are like, let's give them 4 points. Who's got the best bite? Who's got the best this? Who's getting... Oh, shut up. I mean, the graphics are always cool. But that's also, Chad, thank you. That's a reminder. Everybody to resubscribe or subscribe. Use your Twitch Prime. And also subscribe on my YouTube channel as well. These videos will drop onto the YouTube afterwards sometime today. Probably after a nap, to be honest with you. Who is this? Oh, it's a mailman. What do you got for me? What do you got for me? I hate when they stop and they reach and you're like, oh, he's got a box or something. No, he's just picking up the next mail. Drive to their mailbox and take their mail. Yeah. But yeah, so I have a bunch of those to watch. So I'll probably do Shark Week. I think I missed this week's Skinwalker Ranch I gotta watch. So it's a lot of stuff. Tom says the Stephen Piercy book is on KU, so I got that but didn't download it, and then the power went out for the 1,000th time, so I couldn't read it last night. It is on KU. Oh no, I read the Stephen Piercy one. I read that one. That one's alright. That one I think is where he talks about, I don't want to, it's spoiler here, He talks about either having sex with Sharon Osbourne or Sharon Osbourne wanting to have sex with him. And I think it goes on for way too long. Mr. Frank, we're going to go out on a great white expedition and pretend like it researched to investigate if a great white can beat a Leviathan whale. Because scientists have been dying to find out. Yep, pretty much. Again, fun graphics on those. You don't really learn anything. Like the same with the Megalodon, versus Great White one. It's like, which has a better bite? I don't know, the shark that's 20 times bigger. Here's my bread order. So I'm gonna have to take a Geezer wrote it for him. I doubt Stephen Pearcy with those crazy eyes. I doubt he could read anything by himself. All right, I'm gonna take like 2-3 minutes here. Talk amongst yourselves. I got to bring this bread in. It's 100 degrees out. I don't want my bread to thaw. Nobody likes thawed bread. The dry ice is already. All right, I'll put those. I'll put that away later. It's in the dry ices and stuff. The Stephen Pearcy book isn't all about how he single-handedly reinvented T-shirt fashion by cutting them on the. I don't want to read it. That's actually like 8 chapters. It's so hot, the dry ice is already dry. Yeah, it's already melting. It's already all melty. But I brought it in the house. It'll be fine. Waiting for the Blackie Lawless bio. Wasn't there one of those? Or no, it was just a. I think you bought that for me, Frank, years ago. The ebook about Blackie Lawless. There was another one I heard about over the weekend, and I was like, "Oh, that should be good when it comes out." I can't remember what it is though. I don't remember now. Alright, so all I want to do is I want to finish this page. Right here. Next page, Nixon! Son of a... Next page! So now that the convention, the Philly trip is over, now Shelley's whole focus is going to be on MondoCon. And while she's at her mom's, so she's at her mom's until next Friday. So then Saturday, Sunday, the weekend before MondoCon. Monday she goes to work normal. Tuesday, Tom, if you're still on, as soon as you and Jess get any kind of update of what about roughly when you're leaving. Are you guys going to leave Monday? Because I'm going to be honest with you, that's a long effing drive. That's a crazy ass drive from where you are to where we are. So if you're going to leave Monday and take your sweet time, or if you're going to leave Tuesday morning, you might not be here till middle of the night Wednesday. We're just trying to figure out because we got to get stuff, the house prepared. I guess Nick is at lunch now because he said he was going to wait until lunchtime to ask some questions. At Vortex, did they take an author group photo? No, they did not. I realized that afterwards. We did not. The only picture is the picture that I had Shelly take of the three of us sitting there. But, yeah, Brian did not take a picture with everybody, which he's done every other time. Tom says, we rethought it. Gonna leave Monday after work, probably stop at a hotel at some point, then drive the rest of Tuesday morning. Yeah, it's a good idea. I don't know, how many hours is it? You probably, like, drive until it's like 9, 10 o'clock and then just be like, we're done. Crazy sex for 7 or 8 hours and then get back on the road. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for it also, and it did not happen. And there was plenty of times for us to do it. 15 and a half without stopping, so it's probably like 18. That's probably an 18-hour drive. But yeah, if you guys leave at, say you guys leave at 6 o'clock and you drive several hours, you knock off like 4 or 5 hours. Say you knock off 5 hours of that. You still got like 10 hours to go get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. You probably still won't be here till like dinner time. I need you guys to be here earlier though, if possible, because I want to go to Taco Lou's on Wednesday night. Oh no, you'll be here on Tuesday. We're not going on Tuesday to Taco Lou's. That's crazy. That place is packed on that day. Yeah, I thought we were going to get a photo as well. So the other two guys were nice. The other two guys at the signing were good people. For some reason, I started picking on Joe Ortlieb a lot. I don't know why. That's just me. Takes me 12 to 14 hours to get to Jack's from where I am. Tom is not where you are. Tom is in a different place completely. I just want to see that Big Butt Beach when there. We're not going there. We're here to write. We're here to get work done. Was the turnout okay? The signing turnout was very good. I probably had, it was 4 different books. I had 10 copies of, he ordered 10 copies of each, and I had 1 copy of Chelsea Avenue, which sold. So I had 41 books, and I think I flat signed less than 10 at the end. So, and I had the number, if you look on the Vortex Books thing, the number 2 and the number 3 bestsellers for the week were my books. Number 1 was a pre-order for Brian Keene. Go figure. The turnout was good. Turnout was better than I expected. And Matt Wilderson was there early. He hung out. Him and his wife and their kid hung out the whole time. I saw that High on Bigfoot was a big deal. Yeah, that was a big seller. I think I had 2 copies left that I had a flat sign, and he had 10 copies there, so that was a good one. They do like their cryptids up there, and Abandoned was good too. But Brian was in the store with the table of our books, and so he was talking them up. And then people were bringing more like, oh, Brian said I would love this. I'm like, how the hell does he know? Yeah, you would definitely love that. Well, that area, PETA, yeah, they do the, what is it, the Alba Witch? Is that what it's called? They have the Alba Witch Festival or something there every year, and the lady was telling me all about it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I live in Florida. We have a skunk ape. We have our own skunk ape down there. But, whatever. Make sure you resubscribe, everyone. That's all I'm going to say. Did you rub it in the other author's face so that you destroyed them themselves? No, I didn't know them good enough. I should have. Oh, look at this, Damien and Joe. Another book I'm signing that you're not? I mean, they both did well as well, but they're not beating me in sales. One guy had 2 books, and I think the other one had 3. So, did you do the Turkey Hill experience? No, we passed Turkey Hill, but no. When we left there, we were just like, let's get the hell out of here, and let's go to Philadelphia, which is pretty much what our thing was. We stopped in we start driving. We leave there, and we start driving a few miles, and we're like, and because Brian was like, listen, I can't buy anybody lunch. I normally do that. I can't buy anybody lunch because my car just died and I got to get my car fixed. But everybody here's a coffee mug for the 3 authors. Okay. And but he's like, if Mary's you're going to lunch, you're going to the pizza place. Well, if you guys want to go, I'm not paying, but you guys can go with Mary. And like John Urban's like, I'm going, and I was just like, I've had more than enough of John. And we're like, yeah, we're got to get to Philly. And so we left there, and it's one of those things where you look at your wife, you've been with somebody long enough, you look at her and you're like, she just wants to leave, and I'm like, I'm done, let's get out of here. Nothing against anybody, but it's just, all right, we're done. And we left and we drove for a little bit, and then I'm like, there's a Friendly's, which again, somebody was like, oh, I don't like their food. I don't give a shit if you like their food or not. I haven't eaten at a Friendly's since the last time we were up there. Last time I ate at Friendly's, we were in Mystic, Connecticut, me and my wife, several years ago, and had Friendly's. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have some Friendly's. Food's has never been great. Let's be honest, but a Reese's Pieces Super Sundae in the giant cup is the greatest ice cream I've ever had in my life. Forbidden chocolate ice cream. Then they got the Reese's Pieces in there and the hot fudge and on and on. There's Shelley. And once you put all that in there, once you put that combination, you just can't beat that combination. I think it's the magic properties of the glass sundae bowl puts it all together. So we split one of those was our thing. So I was like, you know what? This is better than hanging out at the pizza place. And then so we had that on the way. Nick says, I was hoping he would sneak in a few copies of socks. Shelley had actually put several copies of socks in her pocketbook, but when we walked in, the alarm went off, and she had to throw them outside on the street. And when we left, they were still just sitting there. I'm outie. Have a great day. My belly button is an innie. It's an innie. Although I'm fat, so it's kind of pushing out. Chad, thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for not being a jerk. Were you happy or disappointed with Friendly's after you ate? Their ice cream is inarguably good. I'm not arguing. I had their patty melt, which is good. It's greasy patty melt. But, and I purposely didn't eat all of it, and I didn't eat all the fries because I needed room for the ice cream, which is the most important part. So, yeah. Like, there's a Friendly's in Orlando here, but I'm not driving an hour and a half, especially in Orlando traffic, to go to Friendly's. How many cheesesteaks did you partake in? One. Only one, and the only cheesesteak I had was at the hotel. Me and Shelley on Saturday, she had a break between her speeches and things there, and she's like, I'm done from like 12 to 1:45, and then she came back up to the room, and then we went down and ate at the restaurant there. There was like one waiter, slow as shit, and the cheesesteak was alright. I'm still burping it up. Not bad at all, but I mean, whenever we go, she does, her convention, they move it every year to a different city, and we went 2 years ago. I think we were in Nashville. I don't remember where last year. Maybe it was in Orlando. This year is in Philadelphia, and so of course then they do like a lunch buffet, but like the hotel lunch buffet and dinner for all the attendees. So of course they're like, oh, today we're doing like Friday or Sunday was like, we're doing Pat's and Gino's sample of their cheesesteaks, and then 2 other places was Monday kind of thing. But then she said there's like 1,000 people. There's like 2,000 people that go to this thing, and like 1,000 people are in line to get a piece of cheesesteak. So it's like, what's the, you're not going to sit in those lines. Tom says nobody was cooking cheesesteaks because it was 12,100 degrees outside. Yeah, literally 111 degrees when we got in the car and left Philadelphia. I'm going to tell you, man, I was never a big fan of going to the city, any city. And now at 54, almost 55 years old, man, I hate it even worse. My panic attacks, the anxiety, everything. So many people, so many things around. Just ridiculous. Kean was all like, you have a copy of Socks, you better unfuck. Yeah, right. So on Monday night, my wife goes to her various things at the convention center. It's like right across the street. Like you walk over the bridge, so you're not on the street with all the homeless and stuff, which is nice. And I like to stand by the window. I like to people watch. We're on the 10th floor, so I'm looking down at all the little ants walking around. And I look down, and there's this dude in a black hoodie and jeans, and he's just spread eagle on the middle of the sidewalk, just lying on the sidewalk for like a half an hour. And there's people just walking over him. There's a couple guys that keep stopping and looking, and I'm like, oh, they're going to try to steal his backpack. And I was just like, it didn't even dawn on me, this is how awful I am as a person. It didn't even dawn on me, hey, maybe I should call downstairs and say, hey, there's some guy that might be dead across the street or something. I was just fascinated. Like, hey, here's something to do for me. And then some guy walked, black hoodie, so you saw, yeah, I saw Jason, yeah, Chuck. And then some guy was walking around, he had no shirt on, this guy, and shorts. He walked up and he started, like, he was talking to the guy. And at first I'm like, oh, this guy's going to go through his pockets or something. But he actually had his phone out and he called the police, I guess. And then the cop who works at the hotel, at the Marriott, ran across the street. And then the EMTs came. And I'm like, oh, the guy's moving. Like, the guy's not dead. They sat him up and they gave him water. And I'm like, oh, he's dehydrated because it's 100 degrees in Philadelphia. And then they put him in the ambulance, and they drove away, probably to make Soylent Green with his flesh. Well, that was my fun thing to watch for about an hour. And then right as they pulled away like a sitcom, then my wife came through the door in the hotel, like, okay, change scene. All right, now your wife's home. Now let's hear some of her stories, because she had to go to the company she works for. There were 3 or 4 other people from the company there, including her direct boss, who I don't like, and I'm glad I didn't see him all weekend. He's the guy I think I've told you before. He does his handshake. He does the dead fish handshake, and he looks away from you when he shakes you. Like, just totally disrespectful. I want to punch this guy in the face. I can't wait until eventually I'll make billions of dollars selling books, and she can quit this job, and I'm going to go, no, before you quit, let me go punch this. Let's go up to Boston so I can punch this guy in the head. But that didn't happen because, I haven't made any money in this stupid business yet. But, and then she had to go, you got to go to a couple of the parties, because all the vendors, they spend a bajillion dollars on these open bars, catering and food and bands and all this other crap in all these places. So you got to go and schmooze. And as most of you know, Shelley, she does not drink. She is not much for going and hanging out all night with those types of people. So she put in a couple of appearances, and she was immediately back like, where's my pajamas? You should have went out there and told him to walk it off. He'll probably sit at your seat if he comes. Yeah, he's that kind of guy. He'll sit at the head of the table. He thinks he's a big man. Maybe that's how we sell books. Pay for an open bar. There you go. We'll just rent a place out. What I should have done, if I was smart, is I should have, because I had bookmarks. I handed out a bunch of bookmarks including our book, Tom. I made sure that everybody got a bookmark for the heist books. I handed out bookmarks at Vortex Books. I didn't leave any there. I should have. But I had a bunch of them. I should have just gone to the party with her and then just walked around and started handing out business cards. You know, I got my business cards, I got my bookmarks. I should have just handed that shit out. Shelly, if you're listening, the bread has arrived already. Bread is in the house. The apple is on the table. Mary was going on and on. MondoCon 5 open bar and cash library. There you go. Mary was going on and on about Paul Tremblay and Clay McLeod, whatever, and all these big authors that are doing all these. They're signed to big 4, big 5 books, and they're doing all these book tours. And she made a spreadsheet list of all the bookstores that they were the PR people were putting them at. And her theory is, and I'm not saying she's right or wrong, it's Mary's theory, is that if you did a book tour and you signed in all of those places, and all of them are supposedly New York Times bestseller reporting bookstores. And so if you sign books and you sell books and sign, you do a tour of all of those, you can have a New York Times bestseller. I said, oh, okay. I said, because I heard, because Wayne Stinnett has done this, if you sell 1,000 copies in a month on Amazon and 500 copies of somewhere else, like Barnes and Noble or Nook, whatever, or Google, whatever, one of the other ones, if you sell those minimums, those will report and you'll be a New York Times bestseller. She's like, no, that's not how it works. I said, but it has worked for him 3 times. He's been a New York Times bestseller. Now, he's been on the low end of that list. He was never a number 1 New York Times bestseller, but he's broken the top 50. But that's her theory, to tour the country and go to these 30 different bookstores. Nice. I'm guessing you're saying that about the bread. Hope you can break big bills for that cash library. You need big bills to get into that cash library. Supposedly. Bam. Smash words. Wayne Stinnett should be dead. Tom! Yeah. Wayne always, he's the old man, always offering his opinions based on what he's done, and everybody else is wrong. I mean, the dude's making money. You know what I'm saying? The dude is making money. I'm not gonna say anything bad about that. He's just he's your annoying grandfather. He's your annoying step grandfather. He's the guy that your grandma, when your grandfather passed away, she married later on, and this guy thinks he's part of the family. He's gonna tell you what to do. Alex Johnson should be dead by now. All right, finish my coffee from my Vortex Books and Comics mug. I guess I'll wait. I'll just put it in the sink because I can't wash it and put it in the cabinet because God knows there's no room in the cabinet. Oh, Frank. Shelley had a question for you. I'm going to ask it. Richard Simmons. Wow. She wants to know what your favorite type of pasta is. Shelley, if you're listening, I already told Nick we're changing. Pasta night is going to be Saturday night at MondoCon so he can get some garlic bread. And then Sunday, when he's not here, you can do various meats. We can slaughter animals, and we don't have to worry about him crying like a little baby. Nice biohazard hat. No, it's not. This is Ballantine beer from Newark, New Jersey. A little before your time. Yes, I still want chopsticks. No, we're not doing chopsticks. when we went to the Chinese buffet last week, there was some lady, some real white trash, like total white trash lady, eating with chopsticks, very poorly too. Like I don't know what the hell she was doing. Like she kept holding them with two hands, and then she was like trying to pick up pieces of rice with it. She was just a mess, and I'm like, that just seems like a douchebag thing to eat Chinese food with chopsticks if you're not Chinese. Again, that's just me. I'm just saying. Nick isn't staying the whole weekend. Is it a wedding? No, he's got. I gotta go to work Monday. I need to make money. I gotta pay my rent. My invisible imaginary girlfriend's gonna leave me and go back to Canada if I'm not back Sunday night. Yeah, he's leaving at like 6:45 flight Sunday night. He's leaving. He gets in. Nick gets in Thursday at 11:15 a.m. and Frank gets in at 2:30 p.m. on Thursday. Tom will hopefully already be here, but then Frank doesn't leave until Monday at 3:40. Interesting. I only got 3 people traveling in. The other 5 people are locals, and then Farfalla. I have to fight. Hey, you got to fight crime. Who else is going to fight it up there in the Milwaukee area? Oh, what's that mini-looking twisted lasagna one camping now? I'll be leaving early Monday, probably around 8 o'clock. All right, that's when we were planning on going to the Redneck Beach, but I guess we're not going. I was going to take Nick, but he'll be gone. My flight will all change at the last minute. Don't worry. Well, even if it's like, Monday 3:40, now it's 10:30 at night. You know, there's plenty to do at the airport. Gotta get the rental car back. Yep. Put Redneck Beach. Yep. Well, no Redneck Beach for you, Nick. I'm not sure who's coming on Saturday from Clay County Books. I know Lou is coming, the guy who runs it, who we met, you guys met last year, and author Jamie Engel is going to be here. Apparently, she is their guest speaker for the month after, and I guess she's going to. I think she's down South Florida somewhere, Orlando maybe. I don't know. Anyway, she is driving up for Saturday morning to hang out. Yeah, the Jamie Engel. And if you don't know any Jamie Engel stories from me, I'm not going to tell them on here. Or she had the oxygen mask looking ones. You're just doing random things. Is Clay County McLeod going to be there? No, I don't believe so. Lucas Miller, no. Thankfully, he is down in the Fort Lauderdale area, and he's not. The only reason Jamie Engel knows is because she's the guest speaker next month for their group, and I guess Lou immediately puts you on his mailing list. Mr. Frank, like baked ziti, lasagna, spaghetti, Alfredo, favorite like that since you got no shellfish for you. Oh, she podcasted, right? Right. She was part of Project Entertainment Network for about a month, and nothing but problems. And I've known her for a few years. I've been places where we've signed books and stuff. But yeah, she got a little bit annoying. How many Michaels will be there? 3 Michaels. Young Michael, old Michael. You don't call him. You got to call him either Michael Lee or Tall Michael. Oh, like pasta dish, baked ziti. My favorite, Mr. Frank. My favorite. Yeah, now Shelley's completely into MondoCon zone for the next event. So we'll be thinking about that. But if there won't be chopsticks, then lasagna. Ziti is the easiest pasta to eat with chopsticks. Yeah, because you just stick the chopstick through all the ziti. If you can line them up perfect, you can get like the entire tray, just one row at a time. Practice my push-ups to impress the coffee maker while I wait. There you go. Because what kind of animal eats big ziti without chopstick? All animals. Ooh, looks like it's gonna rain. Seriously, the big ziti. Mr. Frank is being serious, so you know he likes big ziti. I'm looking forward to it now because that's the next thing I have to look forward to. My wife won't be here for 10 days, and then when she does return, it'll be for a couple days. And then Tom and Jess will be here. And then the rest of you guys. Is there a bad pasta? I find all of them delicious. Pasta to me is like, oh, what do you... it's all the same. It all tastes the same. Delicious. It's kind of like, oh... what's your favorite Mexican food? It's all the same. It's just the presentation is different. You know what I'm saying? The presentation. If you said, "Hey, I'm gonna make big ziti," or "I'm gonna make big spaghetti," "I'm gonna make big jamel," "I'm gonna make big bow ties," whatever. It all tastes delicious. Oh shit! With sausage and broccoli, Rob. Oxalo Kate jumps in. 15-hour smoked brisket, stone ground and fired tortillas, homemade pico de gallo with a garden picked salad. There you go. That's a meal right there. That's a meal. I don't think my wife is smoking a brisket this year because it takes way too long. But she will be smoking meats, several various meats on Sunday. So we will have a smoked meat. There are bad cheeses, but I can't. Yeah, feta cheese is disgusting. Think of a pasta. Everyone, think of a pasta. Ziti penne, my favorites. But again, any of them. I'm not a huge fan of not saying I'm not a huge fan. I will eat angel hair pasta. I will eat spaghetti, but they're not my favorites. They're too thin. Man, it is windy. Shai says Italian food has lots of different sauces. Pasta is all the same, just different shape. Exactly. Elbows. Asadero cheese on homemade tortilla chips and garden-picked jalapenos. Who the hell has a garden with all these flavors in it? I don't. I guess you haven't eaten today. You're throwing out some stuff there. Some good stuff. I was supposed to go food shopping this morning, and then plans get mangled as usual. So I was like, "Oh, I'll go later. I gotta do Twitch." So I made. I had half a sausage left. I cut up in half and cooked up, and did a couple of on my last 2 bagel sandwiches. And I was like, "Oh, after Twitch I'll go," but it looks like it's gonna rain at any second, so I'm not gonna do that. Benefits of living rural, eating some brisket at this very moment. Nice. Very nice. That does sound delicious. Brisket is delicious. I have an Olive Garden. All the briskets you can eat. Which very, very good. Yes. Right off the vine. So I'm going to when I go food shopping, my goal is to eat healthier the next 10 days and get back into my walking. My knee is still hurting a little bit, but not enough that I shouldn't be able to get my steps in. The breadsticks can also be used as giant chopsticks. Exactly. You gotta probably just hold them. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get some turkey, lunch meat, Swiss cheese, and I'm not gonna do bagels. I'm just gonna do I'm gonna do wraps or lettuce. I do like lettuce wraps, and I'm gonna get some tuna, not albacore, tuna, and then I gotta get a bag of onions. Or an onion. And I'm going to make some tuna wrapped in lettuce. I'm also going to get some Caesar salad. And I'm going to get healthy stuff. and I'm going to eat better. I'm not going to order pizza. I'm not going to order Chinese food in these next 10 days, and I got to stick to it. Edible chopsticks finally can soak up the sauce. Exactly. I had an everything bagel, which now means there are poppy seeds everywhere. Oh yeah, yeah. For some reason, you eat an everything bagel, and when you go to take a shower in 3 or 4 days, you're gonna be like, why are there all these little seeds in my underwear? Oh, because I had an everything bagel the other day. Bag of onions was my nickname in high school. I don't like cutting an onion because then I cry like a baby. I always think of sad songs. But I also like the bag of frozen onions because then I can just throw them in and they're fine. So one of the guys that was there at the convention, his name is Richard Beaver. I said, do they call him Dick? So then his name would be Dick Beaver. Imagine going through life with that as your name. Imagine your name is Dick Beaver or your name is like Frank Edler. Either of those have to be embarrassing. Am I right? I mean, am I right? Well, I've already gone Dick Van Dyke. Also a good one. But you know what? He owned it. Dick Van Dyke owned that. Like, he's not Richard Van Dyke. You know what I'm saying? He's never saying, oh, you have to call me Richard. Or Rick. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't say, call me Rick Van Dyke. He's calling, you call me a Dick. Dick Buck is always a good one, but you know that guy would have kicked the crap out of you back in the 70s and 80s. So you really didn't probably say anything to his face. My daughter and her boyfriend stayed the weekend, and they planted a bunch of flowers and everything. It looked really nice, but they were like, Shelly was like, we need two new plants for the front of the garage, and my daughter was like, oh, I'm gonna get lemon trees. Like, well, how big do lemon trees grow? She's like, I don't know. I looked up and like 10 to 20 feet. We're not planting lemon trees in front of the house. But I would like a lemon. I love lemons. I would like a lemon tree in the yard. I think if we had a lemon tree in the yard, I would have fresh lemons. Freshly squeezed lemons. I mean, unless the raccoons are back there eat them all. Ham Wallet. That's and we were just in Philly. That's Bloodhound Gang, right? Doesn't he say Ham Wallet in one of the songs? Did you miss the cats? I did not. I missed them. I missed them. Amanda and her daughter came over Monday and Tuesday, and fed them. And so that was good. And but yeah, the cats were very excited when we got home last night. Shelly, I was like, we're getting home at like 2 a.m, but even though you got to get up at 7, you can't go right to sleep because you know these cats will be all. And Maisie was all over her last night. She finally had to go sleep on the couch because the cat just would not leave her alone. They take forever to grow that big. Yeah, but I still don't want them in front of my house like that. I don't want my neighbors stealing all my lemons. I want to get a tree that I can grow lettuce on it, and some onions, some shrimp, scallops. A good scallop tree would be nice in the yard. Yeah, I'm not a garden person. Like I didn't grow up in a family with garden skills. But I think if there's like, hey, there's lemons out there, and I can just walk out and just grab a little free lemon tree and just go out and grab, hey, I need lemon for my lemon water. Wow, it is friggin' windy. And it's starting to rain. Starting to rain, people. Little free lemon tree and copy machine emporium, yeah. Yeah, they don't get people who knock on the door, want to use our library and the computer, and they also want a couple of lemons. That way, if we had the lemon tree already, everybody could get a lemon in their tote bag for MondoCon. We grew lemons for everybody. Here's a lemon. Window look. I am looking out the window because It is one of those. It is so windy. It is raining very hard, but sideways. Sideways, it tells you. Sideways. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. I guarantee if you put that out front, people would be stealing your lemon. Exactly. I think there's somebody on the block who has a lemon tree in their front yard. But I think my son, when my son was living here with us, I think he told us that. I'm sure people you just walk up and grab a lemon, right? I know her Aunt Bobby in Gainesville has a lemon tree because we've gone there and she's given us sizable lemons. And I do like a lemon. I use the lemons, I'll cut them, I'll throw them in water, right? So I get my little lemon flavored water. I don't do the whole squeeze them and make lemonade crap. But I also use them because I love lemon on seafood. I don't use condiments. I don't use tartar sauce. I'm really not a big fan of cocktail sauce, although I will eat it on occasion. But I do like squirting some lemons on everything. A little lemon, a little lime, a little salt. Fill in the blank. Yes. Sauerkraut. Right, that's what he was looking for. What's the next thing in that group? Sauerkraut. Not a fan of sauerkraut. Alright, I'm wrapping this up. I appreciate everybody hanging out today. Appreciate all the new people popping in. Even if you were quiet, I still appreciate you. I do. I will see everybody tomorrow. I'll probably be doing this every day is the goal. Because I got to get these words in. Tom, get those words in. Everybody else, do whatever you want to do. I don't care. See you tomorrow. Make sure you resubscribe.